everybody, welcome back to Freedom Malts. Germ here, coming at you with another First Impression Friday. I am excited for this one. This has been one of my unicorns for a while. And I'm talking about Stranahan's again. Except the Mountain Angel 10-year age-stated American Single Malt. So there is not too many, if any, double-digit age-stated American Single Malts out there. I did find out about this Mountain Angel fairly early on in my discovery of American Single Malt, and I said I had wanted it, and it was extremely difficult to get a hold of for me. A friend turned me on to a website that had some in stock, and they were selling, and they were able to ship. I jumped on it immediately. Price-wise, actually, right where you would expect. I was really excited that I was able to find this, first of all. But for a distillery in America to be putting out a 10-year age-stated American Single Malt, obviously the 10-year age statement does mean that the youngest whiskey in there is 10 years old. Stranahan's being opened in 2004, they have the availability of some pretty old stocks out there. Also makes me wonder, are they going to hit a 15? Are they going to hit a 17-year age-stated American Single Malt? Who knows? But up until recently, as far as I could tell, this was a distillery-only bottle, and it is now starting to get a little bit of distribution. So I'm wondering if that means that they're able to make larger batches of it at this point in time. This particular one, I think, is batch 3. Yep, batch 3. And they got 4,828 bottles at a minimum here, because that's what bottle this is. So, I mean, that's a pretty large batch. Yeah, so I'm excited. Let's get into it. This has a very different but similar nose than other Stranahans. I know that sounds odd, but there's like this familiar Stranahan's smell with an added difference. And okay, so I'm a Scotch lover. I love Scotch. It's my first love. There are several distilleries of Scotch that I find a machine shop, oily, industrial type smell to, and I really dig that. I think that's very cool, a smell to get on a whiskey. I'm getting a hint of that on this one. I don't know exactly what that comes from. And mind you, this is 10 years in new charred American oak. So their standard maturation barrel is a number 3 char, 53-gallon barrel. And this is 10 years in those barrels. Yeah, that industrial machine oily note is getting fairly strong here. I don't remember what the proof is on this. 45.1, so still fairly low proof compared to some of the ones out there that I've had. There's a slight honey note here, a little tiny bit of like a fruit, but not like you cut an apple and you're smelling the inside of the apple. Like the outside of the apple, the waxy skin of the apple. And definitely a red apple, not a green, nice crisp tart apple, but like a red Washington apple. Or Washington red, what is it called? Washington red? I don't know my apples that well. I like the Granny Smith, big fat green ones. Those are my favorite. They're delicious. It's pretty much what I stick to for apples. I know there's other ones out there. I have had other ones. I just have a preference for that big fat green one. Oh, they're good. Yeah. So like a little bit of that waxy red apple skin, that oily machine industrial type note, little bit of honey. You know, and it's odd. I would really, really think that the barrel impact on this would be over the top, and it is not. It's actually more subtle than their younger, their younger stuff. And I'm actually really impressed with that. I like that a lot. Wow. Okay, immediately I can tell this is quite a bit older. There is zero sharp edges here. This is very... I hate the word smooth as a tasting note because it's ridiculous. I don't know how smooth tastes, and I don't think anybody knows how smooth tastes. But as a mouthfeel, it's very smooth, very rounded, feels very mature. Picking up the same things on the nose. We get that waxy red apple skin, some honey. And actually, after that sip, that oily machine note went away. Yeah, it's not there. How weird is that? Nice malt characteristic. Very nice malt characteristic. Just like, not bam, barley. It is, hey, I'm made of malt. I'm delicious. You should like me. It's actually what this whiskey said. I don't even know if I need to go any farther on this. This thing is good, man. Stranahan's knocked it out of the park with this. The 10-year age statement, first and foremost, is really cool. It looks neat on the in the shelf as a big 10 on the bottle. It's mentally, especially for a Scotch lover, it says, okay, this is more familiar to me. I got a bottle of whiskey with a big number, a double-digit number on it. That's cool. I like that. However, getting past all that glamour and glitz, the whiskey itself is actually really nice. Very different from most, probably all other American single malts that I've had. Yes, American single malt as a category is going to be a bit younger. We do come to maturity a little bit faster than in Scotland. However, there's things that distilleries can do to, extend the time in a barrel to provide some of that more mature malt whiskey into, whatever batching or blending that they're doing to create their bottles. Like I said before, I don't know what Stranahan's has going on. I don't know if it's their altitude. I don't know if it's climate. I don't know if it's that Rocky Mountain water. I don't know. They got something magical happening up there. And they produce a really, really good whiskey. And it even goes against my preferences. My preference is a used barrel. I like the malt character to shine. I like to be able to taste the malt character. And I know that is achieved easier and better in a used cask. Stranahan's uses nothing but new stuff, new casks, and they are still achieving something that I thoroughly enjoy and think is really good. So, kudos to them doing a rock star job making rock star whiskey. Now they've had for a couple years now, but Now I have a double-digit age-stated whiskey from them, and it is not a disappointment by any means. This sucker is good. In fact, right after I'm done with this here, I'm going to go back on that website and see if I can find me another one so I can have a backup, because this sucker is something that I'm going to probably drink through way faster than I want to. And if that's not an accolade, I don't know what else is. All right. Thanks, everybody. Cheers to this American Spirit.